Hello, my little piggies. Welcome back to I Am a Bit of an Expert, a Peppa Pig podcast. I'm your host, Josh Chapman, and joining me on the other end of the line, it's the birthday boy. 21 today, 21 today. It's Matt Frost. Hey, mate.
Good evening, Josh. How are you?
Good. There's a little goodies reference there for anybody who got that. But
Well, I'm actually exactly double 21. So.
Oh, really? Well, I wasn't going to. You didn't have to give it all away on the show, but
yeah, it's not a huge concern to me. So
yeah, it's not something you're trying to bury. We don't want that. We don't want that kind of stuff coming out later on. You know.
No. Yeah, it's like we're in a pop band and they're pretending that one of the singers is actually a teenager.
Yeah, that's right.
37. Yeah.
Double 21, and the internet fame's died down a little bit since the last time we spoke.
It has, mate. Yeah, thankfully. Yeah.
Everything's back to normal the way it should be.
Yeah.
You slid back into just podcaster fame now, and not viral tweet fame.
Oh, just back into my blissful obscurity, mate. It's you that's been appearing on radio stations, not me.
Yeah. So we probably should just touch on that very quickly. I was very nice enough to be asked completely out of the blue. Well, we were both asked, to be honest, to appear on Cape Talk Radio, and Lester down there, one of the hosts, he was a fan of the show and he wanted to talk Peppa Pig, so he came to the experts, because that's what you do. So that was very cool. So we've got a link to that that's on our Facebook and our Twitter if you want to have a listen to that. But he was a very lovely chap and certainly knew his way around Peppa. But no, we were both asked, and I did send Matt a message. He goes, that sounds like something you could do. I've had enough internet fame for a little while. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, you did a great job, mate.
I think you said that when Japanese radio calls, you'll step in for that one. You're gonna be big in Japan.
Big
like
in
Tom
Japan.
Waits.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're not here to toot our own horns about how famous we are here. We're here to talk Ballet Lesson, and what goes down in Ballet Lesson, mate?
Oh, this is one of my favourites. This one.
Can I make a bold statement here? I'm gonna make a bold statement. I think this is the best episode of Peppa they had produced up to this point.
I won't argue with that.
Now I know we've jumped forward in time and things, but I think this one is a fantastic episode.
Yeah, it's utterly charming. So it's sort of it's a bit weird in that Peppa goes to have a ballet lesson with Madame Gazelle and sort of acts like she doesn't sort of know. She's just meeting her for the first time or something. That's a bit...
Well, is it that... this is the thing, because we jump forward in time. So is this the first appearance of Madame Gazelle chronologically?
No, we've done the playgroup.
Ah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is true. Because I was going, it's first appearance of Madame Gazelle. But... No. All right, I'm glad somebody here's all over it. Now I feel like I should be frantically checking in the files and things to find out what whether we've got it right or wrong. But because I was like, we'll talk about Madame Gazelle, first appearance of Madame Gazelle. But okay, well that's killed that's killed that. But no, it is strange because you're right. They do imply that it's basically the first time she, and almost the first time that she meets a lot of the other characters, like your Pedros and your Dannys and things. She sort of gets introduced to the crew, doesn't she?
Yeah, like it's almost like they just threw these out in any old order. So
they were like, no one's ever going to care. No one's going to sit through this with a fine tooth comb and worry about the ins and outs of this. People aren't that crazy. We showed them.
Yeah. Now who's laughing?
So this is actually a funny one for me because we have a Peppa ballerina talking doll at our house. So the first piece of Peppa merch that we ever had in our house was a talking Peppa Pig ballerina that I think we got from Camberwell Market for sort of like $2 or something. And you push its tummy and Peppa says a few words and she says lines from this show. So when she talks about sort of, I'll do the music and you must go gracefully and beautifully and gracefully. These are all sound bites that are burnt into my head like a talking Krusty doll or something that it cut from this episode.
Well, I think the fact that you still rate it so highly goes to show just how good an episode it is. If you've been sort of battling with repeated phrases from it, so
Yeah, well, I was actually going to bust it out for the episode and play a little sample on the mic to prove that I had it, but I can't seem to find it anywhere. So maybe there was a point in my frustration that I stuck it on a high shelf or something, and then it was lost to time.
the old the perennial. Oh, we don't have that type of battery at the moment, sweetie.
Yeah,
So,
so there's a big one of those that we have. Do you know the show In the Night Garden? Are
yes,
you
I
aware
do.
of that
Yeah.
show? So Olive got a Macca Packer doll, which is one of the characters from there. And Olive has this very weird love-hate relationship with toys that make noise. So sometimes she likes them, and sometimes she is absolutely terrified of them. There's a Yoda on my shelf that our friend Steele Saunders gave me from his garage sale when he left the country, and we went around and visited, and he played it. And it did a Yoda noise, and Olive absolutely lost her rag and is now terrified of that Yoda to this day, even though that was about 2 years ago. So we've got this Macca Packer doll that talks, that she has this whole weird thing about that she kind of knows where it is. She does, and then she got to a point where she didn't even want it in the bedroom, and I basically took it out and put it on the shelf and had to tell her I threw it away because she didn't even want it in the house anymore.
Yeah, right. Like a Chucky sort of thing.
But then she would still talk about it, so she was sort of obsessed with it and almost wanted me to say that I had it, but then didn't want to know that it was there. So
Yeah.
anyway, creeping talking dolls. So the ballerina Peppa was never a creepy one, but it might have worn thin. But
Yeah. Yeah. It's so the rest of this there's a wonderfully simple episode. Peppa goes and has ballet lessons with her friends. So Susie Sheep's there, Rebecca Rabbit's there, not Richard. Pedro's there, my boy.
Yep.
Danny
Candy Cat.
Dog, Candy Cat, like and Susie Sheep.
I do like how the boys have got the sort of the tight
Yeah.
onesies on as well,
Yeah.
which is a nice little touch.
Yeah, it is.
And
The detail's good, and Madame Gazelle takes them through some basic ballet steps, and they all clump around like kids would.
there's some very good clomp sound effects as well, isn't there?
Yeah,
Where it's sort of Madame Gazelle's sort of graceful and on her tippy toes, and then Pepper sort of hits with a thud, which I think is very clever. So she doesn't pick it up right away, but she does enough to get by.
yeah. More than anything, they're all having an absolute ball, having a lot of fun, and
Do
Mummy
any of your
and
girls do ballet lessons, or has it ever been into that sort of thing?
no, Saraya's always been quite. We're not doing it just at the moment. She's doing netball at the moment, but she's quite. She's always loved rhythmic gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she loves prancing about with ribbons and such. So
Yep.
yeah, so she's done a little bit of basic gymnastics she quite enjoys, but
Yeah.
I think Beanie's probably going to be the dancer, to be honest.
Yeah, Olive likes to sort of prance around and do little moves and dancing, and it was a point where she would just walk around on her toes quite a lot. We didn't quite sure why. I think it was just a learning to walk thing, but she likes to sort of dance around and do that. So I think we feel like this is probably in the pipeline, but we'll see. I know Kat seems to think that maybe there's a bit too much discipline in ballet. She might be a little bit more. She might want to be a little bit more free fall, bit more interpretive dance rather than ballet. I don't think she wants to be hemmed into too many rules, but we'll see.
God, that sounds familiar. Beanie did that walk around on her toes thing too.
All right.
Yeah, she's probably still does it on occasion. But yeah, I think Beanie's probably going to be more interested in that Brazilian martial arts dancing. she's quite a physical kid.
You
Likes
get a couple of boots to the head or something.
Yeah,
Careful.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is a bit of a funny episode because the ballet lesson actually is only half the episode. So I was watching it and I didn't remember the episode at the top of my head. I sort of recognized the lines from the doll and stuff, and they did the ballet and they danced around, and then the lessons were over, and I was probably going, well, this episode seems short. That seems like they've kind of got to the conclusion of that pretty quickly. But then it's basically from then on is when that really elevates, isn't it?
Oh, it's a great to sort of act play, isn't it? It's they go home and Pepper's very proudly telling them what she got up to in her ballet lesson, and Daddy says one of the words is "je t'aime" or something. I might not have that quite right, but Peppa says, and it's such a great line, "Daddy, you know the funny words," or and it's revealed that Mummy and Daddy were quite good at ballet dancing.
So I think this, we talked on previous episodes about, what do Daddy Pig and Mummy Pig get up to on their nights out. I think we talked about maybe they're theatre people, but they might be ballet people.
Yeah. Well, it could be both, I guess, but
we did establish they like the fine arts.
Yeah.
But so Daddy Pig, was more than welcome, more than happy to, a little invite to show off some of the ballet skills, and he's got some fancy little toes going on there, hasn't he?
Oh, the little trotters are flying. Yeah, I would like to have seen Daddy in the white onesie though.
Yeah, he kind of looks like he's in a onesie a little bit. He's kind of just got his kind of green onesie or whatever he's wearing. It does look a little bit onesie-ish at times, but he doesn't sort of separate. It doesn't look like he separated his pants from his shirt.
No.
Is that always the case? Now I feel like I have to go back and
it is.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Okay. For a second, I'm going. Maybe they've just stuck him in there for this, for some twirling around. But no, he's definitely.
So he doesn't have an animated wardrobe malfunction or something.
No. That's all right. He's always obviously ready to start jumping around. So, yeah, they do some moves and some sweet little dancing and some twists and things, and then Mummy Pig gets in on the action as well.
Yeah, and, Daddy Pig tosses her most of the way to the ceiling.
The ceiling gets incredibly high all of a sudden, doesn't it? It looks like...
Yeah, in reality, she'd be halfway through the next floor, I'd say. But
yeah. But for the purposes of the suspension of disbelief, Mummy Pig flies to the roof and misses the roof, by a couple of centimeters, I think. Obviously, they're quite well trained, so he knows his strengths and how to get her up as high as possible. But don't quite nail the landing though.
No. Yeah, Mummy Pig sort of clatters down on Daddy Pig with a bit of force, and they do tumble into a bit of a pile. But it's all utterly charming.
Yeah, it's just such a nice little episode, really. It's and I think when you were looking, going, ballet lesson, going, okay, well, this should be interesting. I guess they'll do some dancing and stuff, and the first half of the episode is very much like that. But it's very, very cute, and it's good that all the kids are involved, and you get whatever, if it is the first appearance of Madame Gazelle officially or unofficially, or however the chronological order is working, whatever. But then, yeah, the family stuff's really, really nice, with a couple of nice little pratfalls.
Yeah, it's sort of pretty much a template for sort of like the best episodes, I think. A little bit of cute kid stuff, but a bit of byplay with the adults. But it's
a little bit Daddy Pig, showing his confident side, really, and almost succeeding perfectly, and just having a little bit of a little bit of Daddy Pig Susan on the top.
And Peppa sort of, he says, I think we best leave the ballet to you, Peppa. And Peppa says, I am the best, or something like that. And it's such a thing a kid would say. Like,
I'm the winner.
I feel the Peppa haters will be jumping on that, but no way. It's just something kids say. She's absolutely over the moon that she's just had a lesson. She got a big rap from her teacher. She's having a ball.
Yeah, she's just proud of herself, basically, and it's a cracker of an episode, this one. Right. Well, any other closing thoughts? It's so funny. We don't, we usually poke a few holes in things every now and then. It's and the ones that we sort of heap the most praise on are always the later ones. With the in jokes and the little nudges and the winks and stuff. But they really feel like they're sort of hitting their stride.
I think like. When I looked at the episode list and I saw the first one was ballet, I just started to grin straight away. I've seen it quite a few times. I love the episode, and I was sort of surprised. I actually thought, this is an early season one. I sort of could have easily thought that it was from later on. So, yeah, but just a great episode.
A good time had by all. Well, thanks again, mate. Thanks everybody for listening and downloading, and to new listeners who've come on board. We've got a few little download spike. I've just been noticing off the back of the appearance on the radio, which is nice. So thank you to that, and thank you for. Hope you all stick around, and you can follow us at the socials at Peppa Pig Pod. And we'll be back next week with Thunderstorm.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this one too.
We're on a little bit of a roll, a little purple patch here. So, thanks a lot, mate.
No worries, Josh, and good night, my little piggies.
Yeah, we're playing a tune and we're singing a song with a bang and a bong and a bang. Bong, bang, boo, bing, bong, bing. Bing, bong, bangly, bongly, boo. Bong, bing, boo. Bing, bong, bing. Bing, bong, bangly, bongly, boo.